Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So anyone who has been following the channel for any period of time might know that whenever I go out media shopping and I purchase something, I end up sticking it right over, like off camera over there on my shelves until eventually I'm able to do a haul video on it. So the items that we're looking at today have actually been sitting over there for quite some time now. I haven't gotten around to them yet. So today is a perfect day to do that. So we are looking at a full Blu-ray haul. So I have 20 different movies here that I am really excited about and cannot wait to share with you guys what I found. So I'll be honest with you, I know I got these on a sale from Disc Replay. It was months ago now, so I really don't remember what the sale is. I thought it was buy 3, get 3 free, but I don't have the right number to make that work, so it might have been. I just ended up getting a couple extras. I don't remember, to be honest, but I know these were on sale. So typically Blu-rays at Disc Replay are about $5 each, but these would have been cheaper than that because of the sales that were going on. Honestly, some of these might even go back to Black Friday, but don't tell anyone. It's just our little secret. But that doesn't matter. It's still new media for the collection, and I want to share with you guys what I picked up. So hopefully you guys are excited about this one, and if you are, please give it a like down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to my Disc Replay Blu-ray haul. The first of my 20 Blu-rays here is actually a 3-film collection, and I don't know if these films are excellent or not, but it looked like fun and ones that my daughter will enjoy. This is the Norm of the North 3-film collection. So we have Norm of the North, and then the sequel, Keys to the Kingdom, and then King-Sized Adventure. So 3 feature-length Norm of the North movies on Blu-ray and DVD, apparently, so that's cool. So you can see all 3 are on separate Blu-rays and separate DVDs. So yeah, this should be fun. Again, like I've heard that it's just a cute family, movie. So hopefully it'll be pretty fun. I know that my daughter will enjoy this because it's a cute polar bear. Like what's not to like there? So yeah, Norm of the North, the 3-film collection, the original, Keys to the Kingdom, and then King-Sized Adventure. All 3 films, at least that I know of the Norm of the North series. I actually do have a handful of series in this video, and some of the other ones, like this next one here, are helping me to complete series that I've bought previously. So this one is Pitch Perfect 3. So I had the first 2 on Blu-ray. I actually relatively recently grabbed the second one, and I ended up getting like the first and second one in a dual pack, and then I needed the third one, and so I was able to find it when whatever the sale was when it was on sale. So now I have the entire Pitch Perfect trilogy. My wife absolutely loves these movies. I have yet to see the sequel. Like, I love the first movie. It's excellent. The music in it is just so much fun. The characters are great. I love that movie. I don't know why I haven't continued it yet. I definitely need to check out Pitch Perfect 2 and 3, but now they're in the collection, so that's always a good thing. So Pitch Perfect 3 completes my Pitch Perfect collection. This next one has been on my list of cheap Blu-rays to find for quite some time, and I just hadn't come across it. Well, finally, I came across The Big Sick. So I've heard excellent things about this. I think when I added this to my list, I was watching a video from the Movie Buff Pains. Beth was talking about it on there, which frankly, they don't really do any YouTube anymore, but she still is active on Instagram, so definitely follow her there. But anyway, Big Sick is supposed to be a really good movie. It's a comedy drama, but supposed to be quite hilarious. And so yeah, really looking forward to checking this one out. It has an awesome cast on this. Ray Romano is in it, like specifically. He is one of my all-time favorites just because of Everybody Loves Raymond. So yeah, really looking forward to checking out what this is all about. I believe it has to do with like the healthcare industry. I think our main character is sick and going through things, and so yeah, I'm sure it's going to be enjoyable. There's no bigger scam on planet Earth than the healthcare industry, so I'm very much looking forward to checking The Big Sick out. Another one I needed to complete a series. This is Hangover Part 3. So I'd been looking for this one for a little bit of time now, and I finally was able to find it. So yeah, I have now the entire trilogy of The Hangover, and I really liked the first movie on this one, but much like Pitch Perfect, I've just not watched the sequels. So I don't know what it is. When I like the original in a series, you'd think I'd be all about the sequels, but for whatever reason, it just takes me forever to get to sequels. I don't know why. So Hangover is kind of the same deal. I really like the first first one. This was actually a movie we watched like years and years ago after the ball dropped on New Year's Eve. We stayed at my uncle's house and watched it, and I never do that. So that was one reason that the original stands out to me, is just because of where I watched it. But anyway, Hangover Part 3, excited to complete my Hangover collection. Here's another one that I grabbed specifically for the cast because you have John Cena and Leslie Mann, who I think are just hilarious. So I'm really looking forward to checking Blockers out on Blu-ray here. Basically, these three parents find out that their daughters have this pact to lose their virginity, and so they are going to be all up in their business to make sure that doesn't happen. And so yeah, it just looks like a fun, silly comedy. I'm sure I'll enjoy it because I like the actors. So yeah, should be a pretty good one once I get around to it. So Blockers with John Cena and Leslie Mann. Here's one I've actually mentioned in the past because I think the DVD popped up in my inherited movie collection series, but this is Dragon Wars D-War, and this one has been in my Hamilton book cart for so long because it just looks fun. It's like a modern day film, but dragons attack. So like, what's not to love there? I'm sure it's going to be like, you know, very questionable CGI, but I don't know, it just looks like a blast. And so yeah, really looking forward to finally getting around to this one. It just looks like the type of movie that I would enjoy. It says they've made our world their battleground. So I mean, yeah, that sounds fun. I like the idea of it being like a dragon movie, but set in a modern day setting. That's just intriguing to me. So yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. And I was actually surprised. This one was actually in theaters, which blew my mind. I thought for sure it was like a made for sci-fi movie, but it's not. So maybe it'll be a little bit better than I'm expecting. But either way, I'm hoping it's going to be fun. Dragon Wars, D-Wars. Here's one that I recently upgraded on from DVD. So I actually was searching for the Blu-ray for the longest time, couldn't find it, so I settled on the DVD. And then, I don't even know, a month or two later, I came across the Blu-ray of There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. So this movie I've heard amazing things about, and Daniel Day-Lewis is just one of the greats. And so I'm sure this one is going to be excellent, and it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. So I mean, I'm sure this is going to be a really good movie. I've heard nothing but incredible things about it. So I was happy to upgrade this one. I initially really wanted it on Blu-ray just for that upgrade in visual quality, but I couldn't find it, so I said, you know what, just grab the DVD until you find it, and lo and behold, I found it like a month or two later, so it just works out that way sometimes. So Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. This is one that I've actually been wanting to buy the original on 4K since it came out, and the price has been lowering, but because I have it on Blu-ray, I haven't pulled the trigger for the upgrade yet, but I probably will down the line once it gets to like, I don't know, $12-ish. But in the meantime, I now have Speed, the dual action pack. So specifically, I wanted this one because it has both Speed and Speed 2. So even if I do upgrade the original, I still would hold on to this because it has the sequel on it, Cruise Control, which I believe is the one, I think it takes place on a cruise ship. I've only seen the sequel once, and it was a long time ago, but I remember liking it for what it was. It was on a cruise ship, and I think it was before I actually went on any cruises, which now I've been on, I don't know, 6 or 7 different cruises. We love cruising, but so I'm very intrigued to go back to it and see how it holds up. But anyway, Speed is an excellent film. I've always loved it. I remember watching it when I would like stay the night at my aunt's house. She had it on VHS, so I used to watch it over there all the time, and it's just a really good movie. So excited to revisit this series because it's been a long time since I've seen it. So even though I don't have it on 4K, the Blu-ray will suffice for now, and eventually I will upgrade it. But yeah, really looking forward to revisiting Speed and Speed 2 Cruise Control. This looks totally B-movie, but it looks like a blast. This is actually a zombie movie with Dolph Lundgren. This is Dead Trigger. So again, there's this zombie virus that takes over, and so what the government does is they develop this video game, and then they recruit the best players in the game to actually combat like the real-life zombie horde. It's absurd, but oh my god, it sounds so much fun. So I'm sure it probably won't live up to like the craziness that I have in my head for it, but either way, I'm hoping it's not terrible, and that'll be a win. So Dead Trigger with Dolph Lundgren, and it does come with a very sleek slip, so I was happy about that. But yeah, we'll see how this zombie outbreak film is. Next is a movie that I actually had on my cheap Blu-rays to find list, and I crossed it off because I thought I found it on DVD. Well, turns out I actually found the sequel and didn't realize it, so I still needed The Haunting of Molly Hartley, and I was able to find it on Blu-ray, which I was really surprised about because this was one that I actually added to like the DVD portion of that list just because I really didn't expect to find the Blu-ray for it. But lo and behold, here it is. And the reason I wanted this is because I was watching a channel. I can't even remember what channel it was now. It was so long ago, but they mentioned that this was actually quite an underrated horror film that they really enjoyed. So I figured, hey, if it's underrated, why not give it a shot? Because I've not seen this one before, just because it looked kind of generic and mediocre. But, you know, hey, someone recommended it, so I'm going to give it a shot and see how it is. So The Haunting of Molly Hartley, a good paranormal horror movie from what I'm told. All right, so now we get into some that I've actually seen previously, and the first one here is Apollo 18. So this is actually a found footage film that it takes place like on the moon, and it's not great. I'll be 100% honest with you. It's not an excellent movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's one that I wanted to watch again because it's been many years since I've seen it, and so I was able to add the Blu-ray to the collection for super cheap, so I figured, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give it another shot. I love found footage, so I'm hoping maybe I'll like it a little bit more on the second time through, but we'll see. I don't know if I will or not. So Apollo 18, a found footage moon horror film. Like that's just all the things I love wrapped into one. Speaking of sci-fi horror that takes place in outer space, we have Stranded, and this one has Christian Slater in it. So this is another one where like I wanted this to be better than it was, but I didn't hate it by any stretch. I thought it was decent. So it says in the back here, when contact was lost, something else was found. So I mean, it's sci-fi, it's space horror, I guess I'll call it. But yeah, like I said, it's not the best. It's definitely a B-level space horror film, but I mean, for what it is, I think it's all right. And Christian Slater, I think, is pretty good in it. So another one that I'm happy to have in the collection, and one that I was actually going to grab off Hamilton Book until I found it at Disc Replay. So Stranded, another space horror for the collection. So this next one, I remember that it was kind of like a second choice option because the original thing I bought, I got it home. It didn't have the actual discs in it, or didn't have the Blu-ray disc in it, or something like that. And so I ended up taking it back and had to find something else. Well, I ended up finding Shudder on Blu-ray. So this is with Joshua Jackson and Rachel Taylor, and it's, I believe, a remake of a J-horror film. And if it's not, it's very much inspired by that, because this was of the time where, you know, American remakes of Japanese horror films were super popular, or Asian horror films in particular were super popular. Like The Eye, Pulse, things like that were out there. And so obviously The Grudge, The Ring, the big ones I didn't mention. But yeah, so this one it's okay. So what gets me with these is like they make me jump. Like there is just good jump scares in it. And so even though it's not an excellent film by any stretch of the imagination, it's not even that good, to be honest with you. It's one that like I can watch and enjoy, just that popcorn horror. I like jump scares, so I had a good time with this one when I watched it. So while it's not one of my favorites, you know, at all, I still think it's pretty decent. So I'm excited to have this one in the collection, to give it another shot. So Shudder with Joshua Jackson and Rachel Taylor. This next one has to be one of the most underrated vampire movies, or at least under-discussed vampire movies I've ever seen. This is Daybreakers. And you can see, unfortunately, I have not been able to get the sticker fully off yet, but I need to go at it with some Goo Gone to get that out of there. But anyway, this is an excellent vampire film. Vampires are coexisting with the humans in this one, but it goes really interesting places. It's kind of twisty, and it's just really well done. You can see it has Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Sam Neill is in this one as well, and there's actually like a good amount of special features on this Blu-ray, and I really like the slip, so as long as I can get this thing off, I'll be very happy that I found this version, because I really like that slip. This is another one, like honestly, I probably should have waited to get it on 4K, but I got it for the deal, so why not grab it on Blu-ray? I only had it on DVD before this, so I was able to trade the DVD and pick up the Blu-ray. So really like this movie. Highly recommend it if you've not seen it, because it's just a well-done vampire film. So Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke and Sam Neill. Okay, I have a couple series here to wrap things up. So the first one is number 2 and 3 of Deep Blue Sea. So this is one that's going to be super silly, I know, when I get around to it, but Deep Blue Sea 2 I've heard is just terrible, but Deep Blue Sea 3 I've heard is actually pretty decent. So as someone who claimed that Deep Blue Sea was my favorite movie released the year it came out, which was, what, 2004-ish? 2002? I don't remember what year it came out, but I love that movie. 99 maybe? I don't know. I'm all over the place with the years, but it doesn't matter. Whatever year Deep Blue Sea was, when I did my lifetime of film, I said that that was my favorite film from that year. And so it was criminal that I hadn't seen the sequels, much like Pitch Perfect, The Hangover. Like, I need to get to these sequels. And so Deep Blue Sea 2 and Deep Blue Sea 3 are now in the collection, and we'll see how they are. I'm not expecting great things, but, you know, if one of these two isn't terrible, then that's, you know, that's a win. So we'll see how these ones are. Really cool to get them both. You know, I have the whole trilogy now on Blu-ray, so that's always fun. Deep Blue Sea and Deep Blue Sea 2 and 3 complete my collection of this really fun original. Hopefully the series is good too. As I'm getting ready to pull up this last stack here, I'm remembering that it was a buy two, get two free sale. And that's why there's 20. That makes perfect sense. I think it was back on Black Friday, but that's okay. It was buy two, get two, because I remember I actually put these down and then went back the next day over that weekend where the sale was going on and bought all 4 of these. So this is all from the same series. We have the Jarhead series. We have the original Jarhead, Jarhead 2, which is Field of Fire, Jarhead 3, The Siege, and Jarhead, which is number 4, but it doesn't have 4 listed. But this is Law of Return. So I've actually, I picked it up and said to myself, this is probably just a terrible series, excluding the first one, which is, you know, really Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. So another one for my Jake Gyllenhaal collection. And it's supposed to be great. But outside of that, I just expected these other 3 to be terrible. So when I got home that night, I remember looking on Letterboxd for some reviews because it was in my head. I was thinking, should I have grabbed it? Should I not? Well, the reviews for this series are actually pretty good, like surprisingly good for just kind of random sequels years after the original. And so because of that, I went back the next day and picked up the entire 4 movie series. And I think this is all of them, at least up until this point. So yeah, really excited to finally check out Jarhead and its sequels to see if they are any good or not. So let me know if you guys have seen any of these sequels at all, because I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Was I wrong in picking them up? Did Letterboxd lead me astray? I really hope not, because I hope this series is fun. This is one that I definitely want to do a rank and review on at some point, much like a million other things I've been saying. But yeah, definitely pick this up specifically for that. So I hope to get to these sometime soon. So Jarhead 1, 2, 3, and 4 wraps up all of the Blu-rays that I picked up on sale at Disc Replay. All right, so there they are, all 20 releases. I guess there's like 22 movies technically because of Norm of the North there, that 3-movie collection. But either way, really happy to add some really cool Blu-rays to the collection and a buy two, get two now that it's finally come back to me what the sale actually was. Like, what a really good deal. That means I paid around $2.50 each for all of these, and that's assuming if, you know, I didn't use any trade credit, which frankly I probably did. I have no idea. It's been a while, but either way, I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Have you seen any of these sequels that I talked about? I would love to hear if there's any that are actually decent, or if I just wasted my time and energy picking these up. Let me know any of your recommendations down in the comments below. I really do appreciate all of that support, and as always, if you guys did enjoy this one, please give it a like down below. That really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media, be it books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it, and if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.